this way.
All right.
Take it away.
So if you look at the statistics of dating apps, and you're on dating apps, we're on dating apps, Instagram's a dating app. The men and women who are swiped the least on Tinder are Asian men and Black women. And we have a lot of Black women on this panel. I'm curious as to why you think that Black women are the least desirable demographic for women. I think I understand why Asian men are. Maybe you could ask me afterwards, but I want your opinion on why you think that is. Why are Black women the least swiped demographic for women on dating apps?
Are you Asian?
First of all,
half Asian.
Okay. I was just about to ask you that
And he's
too.
Black too.
You Asian?
I hope
Are you
it counts.
actually Asian and Black?
right?
Yeah, why are you thinking about that already?
Because you the one brought up
'Cause
the
you should
topic
be.
about why Asian
Why
men are least
Asian
swiped
men
on.
are least
I
swiped.
can
You
tell
did
you
that.
one.
You did that.
Ladies, trust me, you'll get your take on it. We'll start here and then work our way this way. Go ahead. Why do you think Black women are the least swiped right on dating apps, and why do you think on the other side Asian men are the least swiped right on dating apps? Right, that's the question, Nico.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we can speak for Black women. They could ask me afterwards because I can speak for Asian men.
Okay. All right, then. So why are Black women in your opinion?
So yeah, basically I can only, like you said, speak for Black women. In my opinion, I would just say it's always a stigma that Black women are loud, rowdy, just unnecessary like negativity. It's like always a double standard. It's like, oh, as a woman I can't do this, but a man can do it. So it's just like, it's basically that, like a lot of the stigmas. So it's like it just depends on the person. I feel like it doesn't necessarily depend on your skin color. I feel like that's like an ignorant way of thinking. If you feel like, oh, I'm gonna just off first impression just be like, oh yeah, I don't like you because you're Black, or I feel like because you're Black, I'm gonna assume you're like this.
Why do you think that stigma exists?
Social media. I feel like social media is the main factor. A lot of these people growing up in the younger generations, they don't know how to separate reality from fantasy. That's the main issue. Like you see these rappers on TV, you automatically assume all the chains, all the jewelry, they balling. Like, and it's not even like that. Man, these people be having starter packs, the get rich starter packs. That's really
Well, it's not rappers, it's Black women specifically.
Yeah,
Black men don't have a problem really on dating apps.
It's an example.
Yeah, it was just an example. That's
okay, but why Black women specifically?
I can't wait till y'all get to me.
What's the negative stigma around Black women?
I just said loud and rowdy.
And do you think that stigma is justified or completely faltered on social media?
I feel like it just depends on the person. You can't just classify a whole group of people into one. You can't speak for all Black women. Not all Black women are loud, rowdy. Not all Black women are ghetto. So it just depends on. It's some very highly successful and like intelligent Black women out here. So I feel like it all depends on the group of people you hang around. So if you're that Black woman that hangs around people that ain't shit, you gonna grow up feeling like you don't want shit, you won't be shit. So I just feel like it all depends on the group of people you hang around, not necessarily like your skin tone. Yeah, that sometimes plays a part in it, but majority of it is like your personality and your intellect.
Okay.
Right.
What about you?
I mean, she can't speak for Black women, can she?
But what I'm curious about her opinion.
I want to hear her opinion.
Y'all coming at me.
Keep it 1,000. Don't worry, no one at the panel's gonna attack you. Why do you think they get swiped on the least on dating apps?
I can't speak for Black women. I'm going off what she said. I'm a Latina woman. I'm Uruguayan. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey around culture, and I kind of knew culture. Jersey's kind of similar to Miami, the culture. So where I recognize is like being on a dating app as well. I didn't swipe or say no to based on where your culture, your ethnic background, and where you came from. I'm very open-minded. I went on dates with Asian men. I went on dates with Black men. I'm telling you the question, okay? I'm getting to the point.
The question. That's not the answer to the question.
You asked can I tell you? Can I repeat it? Can I talk now?
Repeat it.
Do you know what the question is?
Yes, can I repeat it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You asked, why are Asian men swiped on dating apps?
No, we're talking about
and
the
why,
Black women.
That's not the question.
And Black women. And why are Black women? I'm getting to the point.
Why are Black women swiped on the least? We'll get to Asian men. Yeah.
Okay. That's why I said I can't speak for Black women. I can't speak for Asian men. I can speak for Latinas.
What? Are you an Asian man?
I just said I'm not.
So how can you speak for Asian men but not Black women?
I just said I can't speak for both.
This is crazy.
Can you let her make her point?
This
Can I
can't be
finish
real. This
talking?
can't be real right now. This is a joke, right?
Can I finish talking, please?
I'm not sure what your point is or where this is going.
I can't speak for you. I can speak for myself as a Latina woman and how I'm similar to her.
You said that, yeah.
Okay, can I finish?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So
We Latina women are seen as loud, obnoxious, ghetto. Where I come from in the hood, Newark. I grew up around dangerous people. I can be ghetto. I could be loud. I could be fun. I could be obnoxious. but I could be classy and educated
What
as
does
well.
this have to do with women being swiped on Tinder? Like, this has nothing to do with the
Remind me of
conversation.
the question, Myron.
You're
The
just
black
answering
women,
questions
ma'am.
nobody asks.
The blacks and
Thank
brown.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
crying,
it's
oh my
not
God.
about you. Like, why do you think black women are the least swiped
Your
demographic?
personal
on
She
Tinder?
does
opinions
not
have
know. She
nothing
does
to
not
do with the
think about that.
conversation.
You know, you can say pass.
Period.
It's okay.
You can
can
say
just
That's
say
pretty
pass.
much
You
it.
can
Like
let
you
no
can't
pass.
really. I feel
You
like
can't make her think about this. It's not her
Exactly.
struggle.
Yeah.
Well,
you
here's the
can't.
thing,
That
ladies.
would
You don't have to
be forcing her to-
experience a struggle to understand a struggle. So
She
No,
won't.
you-
She won't understand it.
It's not that hard to
Can I
you
tell
can
you why?
absolutely understand it because here's the thing.
No,
you
you
can
cannot.
Everybody can't understand everything.
That's not what
No,
anybody
if
said.
you don't look like
Yes,
a
you
certain
can.
demographic, sometimes it's a little bit harder. That's just
To
like
understand,
biracial
just like-
couples. If you're dating outside your race, you're gonna feel like, okay, this person's not gonna always relate to me. Why? Because they don't look like me. They don't have the same struggles as me. So it's just like
It's not
But
relatability.
relate and
Yes, it
understand,
is.
I think, is two
it's
different
balance.
contexts.
exactly. So
It's
she may
balance.
understand.
Everybody
it.
not
can't
being able to
understand
relate
everything.
to
Can we
being
just leave it at
me
that?
not being able to relate to being white. No, I can't relate to being Caucasian,
Exactly.
but I can understand what it
Exactly.
might be like in a day of a
That's fair.
Caucasian
Yeah,
woman.
so that's what I'm trying to say. You
Yeah.
can understand someone without necessarily
Exactly.
being in their shoes. Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's
That
called
doesn't mean she
sympathy.
understands.
But either way, my point is that can you please answer the question? The question is this, very simple. Why do you think African American women are swiped right the least, which means they're liked the least on dating apps? If you don't know, that's fine. We can move
I
on.
do know. So
Okay,
can I
go
tell
ahead.
you?
Please tell us in a
I
concise
was-
answer.
I was born in Newark.
Stop bobbling her mind.
Gosh, Nico.
There's never a point where I question my mind. So let me speak. Listen is how
Okay.
I can educate you, how I listen to them.
Yeah, be quiet.
Okay,
Nico.
answer the
Be
question.
quiet.
Just answer the question.
I'm waiting, man.
Just answer the question.
Let her speak.
Yeah, let her speak. Sneeko.
Everyone, let her speak.
God, Nico.
Go ahead.
I dated a black man. His mom
Oh
told me.
my gosh. No.
You're once
That's
again
still
bringing
not
in
it.
personal
You're taking it back
experience.
to yourself.
I'm telling you why I understand.
That's not what we
I think
asked.
she was gonna, hold on, I think she was gonna go somewhere with that. You dated a black man and then what? Go ahead. I think I know.
We're
she's gonna
not
go.
talking about black men.
Stop
I know
interrupting,
we're
ladies.
not. I know
Stop
we're not.
interrupting. Go ahead, finish your
Okay,
point.
what did he
You
say?
dated a black man and then what?
I understand. I dated a black man. Me as a Latina woman,
Yes.
I understand his struggle because I experienced discrimination as a Latina woman.
Talking
and
to the mic.
He experienced discrimination as a black man, and I experienced discrimination as a Latina woman. I don't have to explain myself fully. I'll get to the point like y'all want.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Can we next?
We're gonna move
Yeah,
on.
I can't.
Yo,
We got too many
Why
questions.
do you
Goddamn.
think? Why do you think
Sure.
black women are the least right swiped demographic on dating apps?
Because people are ignorant.
Not you.
Okay.
No,
We
So
know that.
me? Are we talking
Oh,
to
is
me?
that
Yeah,
how
you
you
know.
really feel?
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
that's how I feel.
You should have just said that.
That's what I was trying to say, but nobody's letting me talk.
It's just
You-
one second. Just
We moved
yo, you know it's cool, right? When the guy's like, "Yeah, I know black people. I know the struggle. I know I have a
Because
black
people are
friend."
ignorant.
And I'm like, "What the fuck? I have a black friend. What does that mean?" Sorry, that was funny.
All right, so it's our turn now.
Damn. I got me crying.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. I completely agree with what she said with the stigma because you know that angry black woman that nobody wants to deal with, and I honestly think that it can come from anywhere because I've met certain black women that are like, damn, you kind of loud and mad, and then I've met certain black women that are like, oh, you're cool as hell. So I do agree with what you said. You can't generalize. There's no way
Exactly.
to.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
what are the particular characteristics you think that get them to get swiped right the least?
Loud. Mind the quotations.
Okay, loud. What else?
Loud,
Okay.
angry,
Okay,
stubborn.
okay.
What's another one I've heard?
Ratchet.
Ratchet.
Masculine.
In quotes.
Masculine.
Come on, guys, let her answer, man.
Masculine,
Right.
definitely.
What the fuck? Y'all just gonna say some shit
All
so
right.
she can agree.
Okay, fair enough. What about you? Why do you think black women are the least desired race on dating apps?
From history, we spent a lot of time fighting for black men, which made us masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's coming because of social media, it's becoming public, but the roles are not exchanged. So therefore, we're standing alone. And so black men are not standing in the paint like we stood in the paint for them. So now we look solo, we look alone, and we look masculine. And don't nobody want to deal with that because don't no man want to be with a man. Well, some
Well-
men, I stand corrected. Some men do want to be with men. But however, if a man is heterosexual, he wants to be with a woman.
Right.
And most of us are not. We don't stand in that energy. We're
Do you
not
s-
feminine.
Do you see how you disagree with her? She was saying that it was all fabricated on social media.
No, it's not
You're
fabricated.
saying that black women are masculine.
No, yeah, it's breeding. It's epigenetics. Epigenetics.
Okay,
It's-
but you
it's
understand the
because we
disagreement.
were-
You're nodding, but you guys disagree. You're
No.
saying that it's all social media. You're saying black women are inherently
It's,
masculine.
it's epigenetics.
Okay.
We were born in an environment where we had to fight, not only for ourselves, but we had to fight for our men. Because at one point, they were being
Raped.
attacked.
Discriminated.
Raped.
They were being
Exactly.
attacked.
Demasculated.
Did someone just say?
All right, can we let her finish her point
Go
before you
ahead.
guys?
Right.
Okay, so you're saying that
Yeah, and so we had the ability to fight for them because we were women, and people respected women. And now that the roles have changed,
When?
years ago, generations ago, none of us was born when this started.
Okay.
So
okay,
now that
let me make sure I boil this down to a concise point that people can
Yeah.
understand. Tell me if I'm summarizing this correctly.
Please.
What you're saying is that women are masculine now as a
Yeah.
byproduct of fighting alongside their men during the civil rights era.
epigenetics.
Did what I say? Did what I
Yes,
say? Is
yes,
that
yes,
correct?
yes,
Okay.
correct. But
So
I'm
that's what
giving
you're
you the
saying.
actual. yeah.
Okay, so but that's what it is. Basically, fighting alongside black men during the civil rights era is what masculinized women that are African American.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you think that is the reason why that men don't swipe right on them because they're masculine
That's not
from
the
fighting for
reason,
black men.
No, what did it started that way, right? So we started raising kids, little girls, to be stronger, and
Okay.
we wasn't raising them in that feminine
Remember,
energy.
he asked you what makes
Yes,
guys not swipe right.
I'm being.
It's
That's
being-
what I'm saying.
You're saying they're
So, yes.
masculine, and
She's
then
just
you're
breaking
giving a
down
reason
why.
that they're masculine because of fighting alongside men during civil rights era. Correct.
Correct.
Not just during civil
Okay.
rights era.
It,
Not
it's
just
been
during
generations.
way before civil
Can
rights.
you wait
era.
until we get to you?
Okay.
She's speaking, right? It's her turn.
It is, but you said civil rights. She didn't said nothing about civil rights era.
You're summarizing it
It's way before civil rights
for
era.
for the audience,
Look,
basically.
whether you want to go all the way back to slavery or whatever, regardless, it's fighting
Right.
for freedom.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I'm using the civil rights era because that was the last big event, I would say.
Freedom.
Right. So
It's a big event.
I
right
wouldn't
now.
say we were fighting for freedom. We were just fighting for the
Civil
head of our
rights.
household, right? Because at the end of the
I'm
day,
talking about black people in general in that sense when I'm talking about
Okay.
civil rights.
Okay, yeah. Then that's fine.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
No. So that's pretty much how it happened. Oh, and then wait. So are we only talking about African American women, or
Yes.
because we
Yeah,
also
yeah.
brought up Asians?
No,
Men.
he's
Asian
gonna
men.
he's gonna cover that.
Only you?
Yeah, we can talk about that
He's
afterwards.
the only
it's not
Asian
that
man.
hard.
Let's get through this first
It's
part
not that hard to
first.
diagnose. Like, it's just quickly like, why do you think it's the lowest amount? I can sum it up in 3 seconds. Like, Asian men are emasculated in the West, and women want men who are masculine.
And
So they're not
okay.
gonna, and so you could say the same thing. Like, I could instead
Yeah.
of bringing up like epigenetics and all this stuff, you could say black women are masculine, men want
Yeah.
feminine women. We are not that.
Right.
That simple. But
Yeah,
you know,
she
you
gave the whole reasoning behind it, but I had to bring it back full circle. So why? Okay.
Right, okay.
What about you?
I think it just boils down to the men who are on these dating apps
Hello.
have just had a bad experience at one point in their life with a particular black woman. Unfortunately, that one bad experience has made him feel like all black women are this way. But as you know, I mean, anybody in this, I don't know if you guys have dated outside your race or anything like that, but all black women aren't the same. I lived in Miami a very long time, and I watch even the clubs treat the certain black women the same way. And it's either brown skin or light skin. And so that's a whole nother conversation. But when you're red bone and you live in Miami and you're not treated the same way as if a dark skinned black woman, you know what I'm saying? So on these apps, you don't know she's loud. You don't know she's ghetto. You don't know she's uneducated. You don't know any of these things. You just going off of the experience you had prior to that. And
All right.
so that's why you're swiping. And
All right.
and I know I'm not an Asian man, but if I had to just go off of if I was on a dating app and saw an Asian man, I don't know whether he got a big dick or not. So a lot of women are probably swiping because they go off of the stigma.
Yeah.
Just like the bad black woman,
Shrimp
the
dick.
stigma about an Asian man is that he ain't packing. Now, I'm not saying that's not true because I fucked Asian men with big dicks. So that's not true. But you swiping because you're like, I don't know. The same way you're swiping right on the black woman. You're like, I don't know, and I don't want to take the risk.
Do you think you're masculine?
Very well put.
I think that I'm an aggressive alpha female. but I'm very feminine when it counts, and that means within my relationship. Like I'm with a man who allows me to be in my femininity. So I don't have to take charge. I don't have to lead. I don't have to make certain decisions. Where in the work world or in the corporate world or in the entertainment business, I have to put on I wouldn't call it manly because there's nothing manly about me. I would call it assertive.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a masculine trait.
Those are all same.
These are all masculine traits.
Aggressive, alpha. That's pretty much what a masculine man
So
is.
which one would you
but
want to
when
hear?
you're in the work world and the corporate world, yes, I do understand a woman having to stand for herself because men will walk all over you. But when it comes to the bedroom, when it comes to you being in a relationship, no, I don't think that you should be masculine. You should definitely be as much feminine as possible. But that pertains on the woman.
Would you date a man who's feminine presenting in the workplace, but then in bed he's dominant? So if I was dating you and I'm always feminine and I'm wearing high heels and I'm outside in public being girly and stuff like that, and then I come home to you and then I'm masculine, would you still respect me?
No, but that's not the same example because that would mean hold on, give me a second. that would mean that I'm dressing like a dude and thinking I have a dick or thinking that I think like a man or I know what a man
You're
thinks.
thinking like a man.
No, you're saying that. I don't think I think like a man at all. I'm just telling you my thought process of why someone would swipe right on a black female, and it's because only thing I could think of is his past experience. He's then going off of his past experience. Why else would you swipe right?
Okay, instead of this, so you're in the workplace, you're assertive, you're alpha, you have to navigate around men, you're having to embrace a lot of masculine qualities. I'm asking, would you be with a man who you come home to, you say, honey, I'm home, and your husband is wearing an apron and he's baking muffins and then he kisses you on the cheek?
What's wrong with that?
And would you be attracted to that?
Absolutely. There's no gender roles in my household.
Stop the cap.
What do you mean? Is he wearing an apron and there's a hard dick underneath it?
There's
for me to
clearly
suck?
gender roles. Hold on, stop.
Big.
Hold on. There's clearly gender roles if you submit to your man, like you just said a second
When
ago.
I say there's no gender roles, I mean in the pretense of we're not debating like, oh, this is a woman's job to wash dishes. This is a woman's job to put on an apron and cook dinner. If he wants to wear the apron because he's trying to be, I don't know, freaky and want me to suck the dick under it, I'm cool with that.
But does he do that though? Realistically speaking, probably not.
I mean, not in a no.
You're talking about role play. I'm saying that is his life.
That's who he is.
No, I wouldn't be okay
because
with
that's how
that.
you are. You're masculine presenting in your life.
Yes, because I'm the head of the board at a lot of places. I'm running my business. I'm the one who's making all the hard decisions. I'm paying the bills. I'm paying employees. So
being the man.
Why is me being the boss have to equate with being the man?
Why can't it just be
why is me making financial decisions or making, I don't know, life-changing or business decisions equate to me being a man?
Yes, because to run a business efficiently as a boss, you have to have masculine traits. It's funny how you said I'm alpha, I'm dominant, I'm assertive, etc., aggressive. These are all masculine traits, whether you want to accept it or not.
Right, but also
so that makes you masculine.
But yes, okay, I'm gonna accept that because yes, that is what it is. But you have to agree. Also, as a woman, you have to play the part of. There's moments where you're aggressive, but I work with men where you can't be that girl. They got to be attracted to you. If you understand how the world works, pretty privileged.
Yeah,
men are nice. Men are nice to women that they are attracted to, that don't take things too serious, that understand like, don't flirt and get out of hand and make me feel weird, but I can flirt with you without you thinking that I'm trying to fuck you. You understand what I mean? There's a soft balance between that. And I'm just saying there's a balance. And when you become a woman in the workplace, you learn how to balance those things. So there is going to be some sort of masculinity, but I think that certain women have to learn how to balance it because, I'm just saying.
My point is that men are taught to accept that. Except women who are balanced, who are masculine all the time and feminine sometimes, but you still want a man who's always masculine. You're not going to want a guy who's balanced, masculine and feminine, who half the time is wearing an apron, who's kissing you.
You're absolutely right, but my man never gets the work meet. Once I step through that door, once I answer his phone call, whether I'm at work, he doesn't get.
How do you turn it off?
It's balance. He doesn't want to date a man. He want to date a soft woman. He wants to come home to someone who isn't combative, someone who listens, someone who's coachable. That's what he wants. He wants a soft ass at the end of the night. He doesn't want the woman who's telling him do this and do that. I'm not his mother. I'm his woman.
Yes, indeed. Very well
sounds good on
put.
paper, but so does communism. It typically doesn't work that way. When you're an aggressive woman and you're masculine and you're dominant, it's very, very difficult to turn that off.
It is.
To
It's
put
very
that
rare.
face on everyone, listen, I'll take the accountability that at one point in my life, in some of my relationships, if you were to sit down with my exes, yes, that would probably be a trait that they would say, damn, you know, you got to turn that shit down. I'm not trying to date a dude.
Okay.
But there's something called growth. I'm not 21, 22, no disrespect to you ladies, but I've lived a little. So I'm in a space in my life where I know how to keep a man.
Okay.
All right. What about you?
Well-
Going back to the original thing,
Why do you think
black women get swiped on left?
So I just want to say I appreciate the statistic because it's true, it's facts. And I've talked to men before that they're like, I intentionally do not swipe on black women, either because one, it's not their quote unquote taste, or it's just like they just blatantly are like, I'm not into that, so I'm swiping left.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've heard at least 3 guys say that.
All right. Why do you think that is?
I mean, people say personal preference, but at the end of the day, if it's like, if you're not open-minded enough to like, that could be your soulmate. I hate to say, I don't think I'll ever find my soulmate on a dating app, but like some people just automatically, it's a no. They don't even give it a chance. So like, I agree with what most people have
You're
said
kind of
so
avoiding
far.
the question, though.
Yeah,
You're
she is.
blaming the people. You're
It's-
blaming the people who are not swiping instead of addressing why do you think they're not swiping to begin with.
Well, prejudice, judgment. One thing I'd like to bring to the table, I don't care what anybody says, but basically, if there's like generational trauma, imagine like what's generational to the people that were causing that trauma. I feel like honestly, there's some people in their lineage, there's just racism. You're going to be an ignorant ass person that's in your family line. That's how you guys lived and that's how you guys were successful. It carries on. So some people, they just are trained that way.
So it's
just
racism.
Yep.
If I'm telling you somebody doesn't swipe right on someone solely because of how they look and it's because they're brown, that's discrimination.
Discrimination.
And the fact that I've told you that there's people that have told me that they don't swipe on black women because they're black, that's that. Like they said what
Okay.
they said.
It's self-explanatory.
Is it discrimination when you don't want to date a guy that's 5'6"?
Well, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, you have to
it's
give everybody a
the
chance.
Wait, hold on. But is it discrimination
Yes,
when you date a
it's
short
like
guy?
there's
when you
people
don't
that
date a
will
short guy?
say like you could talk to them for days. Oh my god, I love them. They're so nice. And then you realize how tall they are. Some people will leave that. They'll block you. They'll go the next way because they don't want that.
So you're a hiatus.
I'm saying some people. I don't give a fuck. Give short kings a chance. Like if you make me at the end of the day, if you make me feel like I should,
Short
if you're my
nigga with my dick
companion,
tall.
This is fantastic.
I mean, I'm 5'4", so 5'6" is fine as long as you're taller
Stop
than me
the
and
cap.
like whatever. That's okay.
It's funny that people don't use that word hiatus, though. Fresh has that word hiatus. They don't blame you for that. They say that's a preference. You prefer taller men, and we accept it. But if you flip it on race, which is something that you're born with, just like your height,
Nobody accepts the height thing. Everybody says
Everybody
something
says
about
that word.
height.
Everybody has to.
Well, there's a lot of things about like a woman
85%
wants
of
to wear
women want a
heels.
man who's 6 feet tall or above.
And you always
But
see
how
in
many
Tinder
of them are
bios,
with that?
a lot of
They still want it,
girls.
though.
They're not gonna get it.
You put men 6 feet and above.
Good question. I mean, good point. But most women are delusional of their own personal value.
So that's what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people are missing out on a lot of good because of what they saw. So they're just dismissing it because they don't even want to give it a chance.
My point is, I just find it interesting how you're reluctant to call not dating a short guy. You're reluctant to call that discrimination, but you quickly went ahead and said if a guy doesn't want to date a black girl, that's discrimination.
I never said that.
It's all
I
discrimination.
agree. Exactly. It's discrimination. If
It's all
somebody says, I just
discrimination.
said that. If somebody, you find out their height, you're talking to them, you actually like them, and then you find out your height and you diss them, you're like on to the next. That's discrimination.
So you don't agree there's a small line between discrimination and preference?
I'm not saying that, but I was just trying to. But she didn't. What I'm trying to say, display here is that she didn't have that same energy for height. But she was quick to say, if you don't want to date a black girl, that's discrimination. But then I
Nah.
said, what about all the girls that don't date short guys?
I was just ready with my answer.
Is that discrimination too?
Because I don't think there's a history of us people getting whooped because of their
They
height.
were short.
Exactly.
Because they were short. You know what I mean? People
even
people were
discriminated
abused and didn't get the same equality because of their race, not because of their height. It's just the history of it.
Yeah, people like to
Not
make
to
short
say-
jokes all the time.
Ye-
Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
I don't think it's the same. I don't think somebody deciding not to date someone because of their preference, whether it's like I like fit guys, I like girls with big butts, I like girls with titties, I like girls whatever. That those are preferences. And in some sort of nature, yes, it is a slight of discrimination. But we live in a world where there's a big word called racism. And racism, I think, overpowers the discrimination part, which is like, yo,
You
don't
shouldn't put it on men to go and solve racism on dating apps.
Might I
No,
add that
no,
black women come in all
hold
different
on.
shades.
Men are entitled to their preference. I don't think
Even
there's
your
nothing
shade.
wrong with a man saying, "Yo, I like a lighter skinned woman." That's just what I
Nothing
like.
wrong.
But I think he also has to still have the mind frame of saying, but if I ran into a darker skinned woman, which I haven't found one yet that I'm attracted to, but if I do, I would give it a shot.
You're just saying it in flowery language. Can a guy say, I don't date black women?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that
it sounds real racist
like
to me.
But who says I want a short? I don't
You
think short
said the same
guys.
thing.
Nobody says.
What she said.
That's
you,
the thing.
Hold on. You just explained it in flowery language to not make you feel bad. I don't like lighter skin, sometimes brown skin. That's the same
You
thing.
can say black woman.
What I just
but
said in
that's
4
a wide
words.
range of women.
What I just said in 4 words, like you took 30 words to
But
say.
hold on, let me piggyback on what she just said, right? Look, right? She said when you talk about black women, you talk about all skin
Different
colors.
shades of
And
women.
black women come this complexion, they come this complexion, they
Regardless.
come this
Complexion.
complexion. But that's not what the problem is. When you're swiping right, you're swiping right on the
Because
complexion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not swiping right on
I
the
mean-
fact that she's an African American. I mean, look at the prince. He's married to a black woman.
Hello.
You understand
That's
what I'm
your
saying?
color.
But the world didn't perceive her until
That's a-
they really knew that she was a Jamaican black
Exactly.
woman.
Then they
You understand what I'm
accepted her.
saying?
Point
So,
taken.
so my point. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah. I
when
agree.
you're swiping right and you're saying why are black women swiped right? No, let's put it plain sight. Why are dark women swiped right on?
Amen.
Oh my God,
It's
That's
not
a good
because
point.
it's not black women.
Oh my
That's
God,
what, that's how I
Mexico.
took
'Cause it's
that
not black
question.
women.
That's how I took
Honestly-
that
That's
question.
not true.
And
That's not
black,
true.
hold on, black.
That's not
First of all,
true.
black is the color.
That-
Black
African.
is
Let's
one
just go with
thing.
African American. Why are African American women swiped right on? Right? Because that's a race.
That's all right.
Okay,
Yes.
let's let her
Alright.
finish her point. So
Yeah.
you're saying it's discrimination. Okay.
So, and-
Anything else?
yeah,
Prejudice, judgment, discrimination.
To
Anything
bring
else?
it back, if you think about a dating app, all you have is a person, what they let you know, and their photos. So at the end of the day, you're swiping on what they look like regardless. So
Okay.
some people do justify like, oh, I don't like these photos. They're bad photos. I'll come up with my judgment on her. Swipe. That's what it is. A dating. You're not going to get anything. Like
All
it's
right,
a
to
surface
summarize,
level.
prejudice, judgment, discrimination.
Photo based and what you like, I guess.
Okay. What about you? Why do you think?
I will say that I don't believe that it has anything to do with racism, prejudice, or discrimination, any of that.
What do you think it is?
It is because the stereotypes about Black women are born from a place that is true. We can, and I say we as a collective, like we can be aggressive, we can be assertive, we can be masculine, we can basically disregard the family unit. Like, and I'll summarize this, but Thomas Sowell writes about it that post slavery and the Reconstruction era and in the Jim Crow era in the 50s, 60s, where it's like the most racist, the Black nuclear family was still intact. Mother, father in the home with all the children. Post the 70s, second wave, third wave, radical feminism that told you have sex with whoever you want and then kill the child after, has given us a sense of like, well, my body's not important, my family's not important, having a man is not important. Our music tells us that. Like, country music's not telling anyone to divorce their husband. It's rap music that's telling us like, get rid of your man, you don't need him. So like,
Facts.
those stereotypes are born from a true place. It has nothing to do with racism. You know, no offense to anyone who brought it up, but like in the most racist time in America, the Black family was intact. So it has nothing to do with that.
Don't you see that was a problem for them?
That's why she brought the book. She makes sense.
That was a good breakdown.
Oh man,
That was great.
Oh,
That was
God.
the most racist time in America when slaves were free.
Well, I would argue that freeing the slaves was the least racist thing that could be done at the time.
So you're quoting that the most unracist time in America.
Well,
the
keep
most
in
racist
mind-
time in America is what you said.
Well, keep in
were
mind that
after
only
slaves were
only
free.
1%, less than 1% of the population in 1860, where slavery was at its highest, actually owned slaves.
So did you forget of the
99%
drug
did not own
epidemic that
slaves.
came about in the 60s and 70s that actually split apart the Black families along with the feminists?
Well, the drug epidemic, that's an entirely separate thing. Like you get into
So it has nothing to
Reaganomics
do
and
with
all
Black
that.
people, African Americans. It wasn't targeted to African American communities.
Well, I don't know about a specific community being targeted, but I mean, Black people.
Okay, I rest my case.
What did you guess?
I don't think we're talking about dating apps specifically, right? Like I'm not saying
no.
I'm not saying anything about drugs or anything like that, but we're asking why are Black women swiped on the least? And it's because we do not value other men telling us what to do, being around us, being in our lives. We don't value having their children.
Other men
we
or
have
men,
the,
Please let her finish.
We have like
have you ever watched Divorce Court or Judge Joe Brown? It's
Those are
always a black
scripted, ma'am.
woman.
Yeah, but that's
It's
fake. They
always
just
a-
asked me to
fake.
come on there and pay me. What are
Exactly,
you
they're
talking about? It's fake. Don't go off of that.
Come on now.
I understand
That's your
that it's
logic
TV,
to go
but
back to?
why aren't they gonna ask a white woman to go on Divorce Court? Because she's not gonna be as loud and ratchet and funny
It's
and
just not
hilarious.
public. I come from
It's not going to be as entertaining.
It's
We've
not
been
gonna
the
be as
entertainment of the
entertaining.
country since
That's why they're
before
gonna
Ladies,
hire
what she's trying to say
TV.
is that
We've been the
in one
entertainment.
of the worst times to be an African American, black families were together. Black women stood by their black men, as she was saying before, right? So what she's saying now is that fairly equal across the board nowadays, right? And you can argue that minorities might even have an advantage over
Beyond.
Caucasians.
Yeah.
And the stereotypes of black women are worse now than they were back then, is what she's trying to
They
articulate.
are.
Yes.
Because we have social media.
Right.
Well, no, because we are given, I would argue, too much freedom to do whatever we want, and not being held back by some semblance of modesty has made us, like, for the most part, run around in the streets like lawlessly.
Yeah, but isn't that-
and it
we-
doesn't reflect well on us as a whole.
So
you don't think
when a
it's
man is
more
swiping on Tinder, he's gonna be like, well, she's black, she runs in the street, she's loud, she's obnoxious, she's aggressive, she's
But
masculine,
that's
she's
a
rude.
thing of free will. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Which means if your free will means
Your
that
free will
you
is to
behave.
be masculine and
You-
aggressive and assertive.
Yeah, you're
and
control of your
that.
actions.
Right.
However, the man does not have to deal with that. Like he doesn't have to. So if he sees a black girl,
He
she
assumes.
may fit that stereotype. She has I'm going to say 70% chance of fitting that stereotype. Why should he
Wow.
bet on that 70% when he can swipe
70%.
right?
70?
Not 70.
I'm just
Not
gonna,
70.
Are you that
I just
way?
made up that
A
number.
black woman, are you
Right.
that way?
So do
I mean,
Yo, you guys
I
are
don't-
perpetuating the stereotype by cutting her off.
Yeah.
Yo, real talk. She's trying to articulate her point, and y'all, who cuts her off? The black girls at the table. Like, y'all, real talk, are perpetuating the stereotype even further. Here's the thing: stereotypes exist in some semblance of reality
Truth.
and some semblance of truth. It's upon you as the individual to prove that stereotype wrong. Here, me and him, we're black too. I get stereotyped. I walk in a store, they think I'm going to steal. They think I'm a bad person. They think I'm a criminal. Girls walk by me on the street, they cross the street, etc. It is what it is. I accept that. It's on me to prove the stereotype wrong because I understand that stereotypes typically are in some form truth.
Yeah.
But when you continue to perpetuate the stereotype, all you do is reinforce the negative stereotype of the race of which you are by proving them right. So I look at it like, no, speak well. Don't be an idiot. Don't listen to, hip hop music that perpetuates a certain stereotype. And if you want to listen to it, it is what it is. But if you actually enact on it, fuck all dudes. I don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. This is why so many guys are like, yo, I don't want to deal with black women because they think that that's a stereotype. Now, are all black women like that? No, of course not.
Obviously, yeah. No.
But, right, there's this mantra out there that, yo, she could act like this. There's a high likelihood she acts like this. So I'm going to go with what's probable versus what's possible.
Can
I'm
I
not
ask
gonna
you
take a
one
chance.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this has been a long trait of damage and mental conditioning about this is how black women are. What do you suggest, right? Because you're saying change the mind frame. But if this has already been packed in so long, how does one person or two people or three people or 15 people or whatever, or state, whatever, change the perception?
Fight the stereotype.
It won't happen overnight.
Yeah,
of
fight the
course.
you're not going to fight everybody. You can work for yourself. I would say the first step in what I keep hearing on this panel is everybody blaming social media instead of blaming their own actions and the way they present themselves.
Yep.
But you blame social media and then you're still all addicted to it. You're still ingesting all these celebrity gossip. You're still looking at what Krishan Rock is doing, who she's fighting, who's baby mama drama. You're still looking at the shade room. You're still out here becoming rappers. You're still quoting Ice Spice lyrics before the show starts. So then try to change
But I
your
don't live that
personality.
in my household. That's the difference. I sell it. I don't buy it. Sorry.
That's
You
not
know what
true. I mean, the way you act when nobody's looking defines who you
The
are.
drug dealer is worse than the addict.
But I can also say that
You sell it, you don't buy it.
Yeah, no.
Who gets more time, the addict or
Right.
the dealer?
The dealer. But what I'm saying is that you don't bring that home. It's one day you turn this on for entertainment. Like we're all creators. We're all content creators. We're all entertainers. I don't know what you do for a living, but this is what makes us our money, right? So you have to know when to turn it off.
But how do you
don't-
separate it? Like when you do something 40 hours a week and live
The
that
same
life,
way
how do you
actors-
come
the
back
same way-
home?
the same-
You separate
the
your 9 to 5
You're not
from
an
your
actor, though.
home.
No, I'm not,
Don't
but
think
I
of yourself
am.
as an actor.
I am,
That
but
was
I'm not.
an example, though.
You can't do both.
So
I mean,
so she makes a very good point though, and it's funny because Cardi B is a perfect example. She legit says, "I don't cook, I don't clean,"
but she does.
But let me tell
but
you
she
how you got
does.
this ring.
But what's happening? The masses are saying, "Oh, don't cook, don't clean. I'm gonna follow her."
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad example.
But that's where it goes back to, as a person, you have to have common sense. You got to know when
Self-sufficiency.
you got to know when to separate the reality from the fantasy.
Mhm.
Facts.
And if you didn't grow up knowing how to do that, if your parents didn't teach you in in your household
Learn.
what it is to separate fantasy from reality, then
Yeah.
it's like you're lost. You're just gonna once you
But
become an adult, you're gonna be lost in
Let's
the
be
sauce.
honest. People don't have common sense anymore. So reality speaking,
I feel like
it's gonna stay
yeah.
the same.
Common
Yeah.
sense is
I
not
mean,
as common
not
as it used to
common.
be.
And the blaming of the social media is because people are allowing social media to raise their kids.
To use
to give
Exactly.
them values, to give them core values, to give them.
Mhm.
A lot of people can't sit here and say, "Oh, I grew up in a 2-family home. I watched my parents kiss and love with each other every day." I can, but I can't say that for everybody else. So you only can exude what you have experienced in your life. I'm going to give into my relationship what I watch my parents do for each other. So no matter what I'm doing as far as my job and my job title, I know the difference in what it is to raise a family and to build a household and to treat a man.
All right. You said your point. What about you? Why do you think? And don't be scared. Just give your opinion. They won't attack you. Why do you think black women are the least swiped right race on dating apps?
So I think basically what everybody else said is pretty accurate for the most part about the stereotypes of black women being masculine towards men. And to be honest, whether it's a stereotype or not, no man is going to put up with that. No man wants to date another man if you're a straight man. Like, my boyfriend doesn't want that. A lot of what I hear from a lot of other men that I speak to, because my job is OnlyFans, I talk to men all day long.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to date a woman who is masculine. And you brought up a point saying, oh, well, why can men do something women can't? Because we're not men. We can't do the same thing as men because we're not men. We have two different roles in society, and too many women nowadays are too afraid to hear the truth, but you're playing the role of a man, and it's just not going to work out for you trying to get relationships. Like, no guy wants to date another man. If you're looking for that, you're looking for a submissive, maybe Asian, maybe white, but like whatever it is,
You
you're
basically
looking
just
for
gotta find what works for you.
you're looking for a submissive man, and there's not that many of them in society, so like it's probably not going to work out. The same way like people are saying, oh, it's discrimination to not swipe on black people. Would many of you swipe on a trans man or woman? I know I wouldn't, and that's not discrimination. It's
W.
because I'm not attracted to that. There's a difference between discrimination and having a preference.
There's nothing wrong with not wanting to date black women as long as you're not bashing black women in
Agreed,
the process.
100%. You don't need to bash somebody to
To
say
just
why
say,
you're not.
I don't like
that.
that.
Exactly. I 100%
No, but
agree.
there's a difference between saying, "Oh, I don't like black women because da 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 da," or than saying, "I just don't like black women," and just
No, we
leaving
need
it
to know
right
what
there.
the da-da-da-da is.
Yeah, you
What is
need
the
to know the
da-da-da-da?
rest.
I think
Like,
anybody always
Hold
has
on.
that's the thing.
reasonings.
Like, you always want to cut off the video at like 15 seconds before the 45 seconds plays. Like, I don't like black women because but
Yeah.
what everyone takes away is I don't like black women. They take that and run with that and call it racism, and that's not right.
And everybody
That's not
has
what
their like
racism is.
feelings as to why
You
they
don't
like
say it's
feel some
because
type of
they're
way.
loud.
It might
That's
not
racism.
necessarily be like they're discriminating against you
Yeah,
because
like-
they're bringing up a reason why. They might just be bringing up like an example of, like you said, people they've experienced before. And
It's
I don't
just past
necessarily
trauma.
think that's discrimination.
Yeah.
It's just them bringing up. I mean, everybody has
That's-
feelings.
That's
Mhm.
trauma.
Yeah.
That's stereotyping.
What you've
Okay,
experienced.
it's your turn.
All right.
She's leaving.
No, I think bathroom. Just bathroom. All right, go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I think that African American women are the least swiped on
Dating
for
apps.
dating apps is because men generally know that we're not just giving up the box for nothing, especially for one, a lot of African American men only use dating apps for sex, and we all know that. So they already know if they're approaching a black
for yourself.
woman. Huh?
I think men in general use them for sex.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's
most
fine. If you want to say
African
only black
American
men.
men use dating apps for sex.
The most
not
horniest
love.
men
Just
be
men
white
in
men.
general.
Most
Yeah, men.
African American women use dating apps for finessing and finding sugar daddies.
What?
What?
Where's these numbers?
What the hell?
Yes.
I don't even go into
I
your
don't
sites
think
to
Let's
watch.
Let her finish.
Please let her
I'm
finish.
sorry.
Keep
I
it a
don't
buck,
think
though. Keep it a
there's
buck.
many.
Go
I don't
ahead.
think there's many attractive African American women using dating apps to find love. We're not doing that. We can walk outside.
So you think they get swiped on left because they have nefarious reasons for using the app?
Yes.
Okay.
And
it's not because of their
everybody-
behavior or anything. It's because of their
No,
intentions.
I believe it's because if
Mm.
they see an attractive black woman on social media,
She's a gold digger.
she automatically wants my money, especially if you're like a high value man and you see an attractive female on, you know that like the first thing that men tell me, oh, I know you have a lot of men running up behind you.
Wait,
Stop the cap.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Look at me. Yeah. So just imagine her being on a dating app. You're not gonna think that she wants you for you. For one, you're probably a L7 if you're on a dating app looking for love. Let's go there. So
Okay.
for two, if you
Wait,
find an
you're saying from the
attractive
male
woman on a
perspective they're
dating
incel,
app,
or a female is
a
the incel?
male,
A male is an incel for using a dating app.
a female too.
Do you know what incel means?
I said a lame.
She said
I said a lame. I said an L7. That's what I said.
Oh, L7.
Okay, I thought you said incel.
I didn't say incel.
Okay,
That's
so
like a
so basically your answer
crazy
is they
person.
swipe left because they have a preconceived notion that black women are going to just finesse them.
yes.
Is that the only reason?
Also, because I would agree with the stereotypes, but I feel like it's
What are
mostly
those
because
stereotypes in
the stereotypes of black women not being very feminine. Yes.
Okay.
Not being very feminine, but in that aspect, yes, to me that is like racism because you're stereotyping a whole race of women and you're not willing to give them a chance because oh, your parents told you growing up, or you had one or two bad experiences with a black girl, and now you're like, that's just like me saying, oh, light-skinned men, all light-skinned men are gay
or emotional
or bisexual because one or two light-skinned men I know came out of the closet.
So you're saying it's racism if guys think that black women in general aren't feminine?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Is that racism, or is it understanding trends and patterns that are attributed
No,
to a
it's
particular
completely
type of people?
racism.
It
It's
is.
completely racism.
Can you define racism?
Racism is discriminating against a certain race for ignorant reasons.
But what if it's based in some type of fact and or is mostly
Like
true?
you said, every stereotype is based on a fact, but it's not 100%. That's why it's a
So is that
stereotype.
ignorant if it's almost true? If it's almost a fact, is
That's
that
ignorant because just like I could say, I think all light skinned men are
Emotional.
I was about to say it.
Drake.
hello.
Drake.
Hello, thank you.
I said that.
I think all light skinned men are emotional. A lot of women feel like all light skinned men are hella emotional.
Or it's like saying
lot
because
of
a girl,
women feel like
didn't
that.
have her daddy, because a girl
Yeah.
didn't have her daddy, she's automatically got daddy. She must have daddy issues if she's
right.
sleeping around.
Hello.
I know some girls who have both parents, no daddy issues,
That
no
still
none of
sleep
that,
around.
and they
Exactly.
hoochies.
Yeah, but we do know that not having a father in the household is one of the largest determining factors
Yeah,
in
but
someone
it's
being a
plenty that
degenerate.
did have a father.
It
That's
increases
true.
the likelihood of
But-
promiscuity by
Thank
like
you.
3 times over
Yeah.
easily.
And you're 9 times as likely to go to prison if you don't have a father. So we do have stats on what happens with a with
As
a
a
fatherless
man or a
household.
woman.
But there are special. Can you agree that using that and saying all, you can't say all, because there are.
But a majority is. So like, let's say I got 10 girls, right? And I know, let's say I got 10 girls that had a dad and 10 girls that didn't have a dad. There's a higher likelihood that the girls that didn't have a dad, a larger percentage of them are going to be fuck ups in life.
Okay, so
now,
that's
are there exceptions to the rule? People that, overcome their adversities and be able to become successful? Of
Right,
course.
right.
The NBA is filled with
Okay.
them.
Mhm.
But the reality is, for every one NBA player, there's thousands who didn't make it because of some type of issue, probably a fatherless household, not having a strong masculine figure,
Mhm.
etc.
Mhm.
So I get what you're saying, but the exception doesn't make the rule. We know a fatherless household is one of the main determining factors in someone being a degenerate in society.
well, that's the difference between discrimination and racism.
Can I ask you a question as an Asian man? How do you feel about the stigmas that are against Asians,
I don't get
especially
offended
Asian
by
men?
it. I don't get offended by it, and I don't think that it's racist. I think it's a waste of time to go and blame other people for that. I think it's better to just become the best person you could be and present yourself better
Exactly.
instead of
And prove
blaming
the
these
stereotype
magic
wrong.
things in the
That
air.
was a good
Exactly.
politically correct answer,
That's
but
not
what I,
politically-
but what
actually,
I,
that's
but,
not because
but-
I'm saying that racism exists for a reason.
right, but
That's the
I'm
opposite of what
asking you in a real time, right? When you're dating, right? When you go to date a woman, in back of your mind, do you be thinking that she's thinking like, am I well endowed or not? Because of the stigma.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course, but like, there's better ways to just conduct yourself instead of there's no point in adopting a victim mindset, which I think we're hearing a lot in this panel, blaming other people. Oh, there's racism, slavery, we were whipped, all this stuff.
Social media.
Instead of, social media, there's a lot of, it's not my fault. I think that's a waste of time to adopt that mindset. Instead, how can I present myself to look as an Asian man, to be more masculine, to be more of a protector and more of a provider? How am I going to avoid having that stereotype come up in a conversation?
Well, we were speaking
Okay,
from a
so
general
why do you
point,
think
though.
that there's swipe left on Asian men?
Because Asian men are emasculated all the time. Like, there's K-pop. Just Asian men are
Yeah.
not taught to be
Who's K-pop?
as masculine. K-pop is like the Korean K-pop.
pop.
The culture, the Asian culture is more focused on becoming smart in terms of math, science, to have these types of
So
fields.
you're
where-
blaming it on their culture.
No, I'm understanding why that is, and I'm not going to be a victim about it.
So see, ultimately, it's choice.
And it's also genetic. It's also genetic. Like genetically,
like
if you
she
probably look
said.
at it,
Right.
Asian men probably have lower testosterone in America compared to black men.
This
Compared to
was-
black men or women?
This black man with small dicks.
Because black men make up a small percentage.
And the same thing, I can say that black women probably have more testosterone than white women.
This
Okay,
true.
right.
Of course we do.
Which is
Yeah,
true.
we had to.
Which is true. However,
You have more
just said
melanin.
That doesn't,
that-
but that
you
doesn't mean
just
that.
said
Hold on, hold
that.
on. Okay, you can say,
But
of
I was
course we do,
speaking.
etc. That doesn't mean that we have to accept it.
Yeah.
Here's the reality. I'll tell
No,
you
you
the truth.
don't.
Okay,
The
wait,
reason
wait,
why-
wait, wait.
Yo,
Before
yo, yo.
you,
No,
before you
hold
get
on.
there.
I'm gonna make my point. all
Okay,
right?
go continue, because I don't want to be masculine.
You already are. It's too late.
I'm not actually. I'm actually very
You're
feminine.
being pretty argumentative.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Okay.
I'm speaking my point.
There you
Yep,
go.
speaking your truth.
Anyway, there's only one truth, ladies. But anyway,
Okay.
the real reason why African American women typically are swiped on left is because
Okay.
the average African American woman is 185 pounds. A lot of y'all are fat as fuck.
187.
Yeah. Okay. Another reason, there's the stereotypes of being loud, obnoxious, rude, crass, not having a father, not respecting men in general. Let's keep it 1,000. A lot of black women grow in fatherless homes. When you grow up in a fatherless home, what ends up happening? You only have a mom. She's got to be the mom and a dad. She bears a lot of resentment. Niggas ain't shit. Blah, blah, blah. It continues to be perpetuated in the music, hip hop music. Men don't respect women. Men don't respect women, and the women don't respect men. You talk about the women. Oh yeah, trick on these motherfuckers. All this other shit. It's a how do I say this?
A vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle that continues to perpetuate itself. And the thing is that I don't see it correcting itself anyway soon. So people aren't going to sit there and read the book. They're going to judge the book by its cover. If you speak a certain way, act a certain way, look a certain way, they're going to assume you are that way and not give you a chance. And unfortunately, a lot of black women have negative stereotypes that are attributed to the black community, and it's on you to prove those stereotypes wrong.
Yep. Right.
And the big one that people don't want to talk about is African American women in general don't fucking exercise. Y'all are fat.
Well, that's
That's a big one.
I can't speak for them. I'm on the treadmill 45
And
minutes.
first of all,
6 days a
we're
week.
already naturally
How much do you
big.
weigh?
So
I'm 187.
That's the average.
I
Yeah.
mean,
the average Japanese woman.
I'm 150. I
187.
have a lot of slender
Hold on,
legs.
hold on. 187. I'm 175 and I'm 6'2". The average Japanese woman weighs 120 pounds. The average like American woman is already 170. That means the average white woman is probably like 160.
but we
180.
also, but if you
So
go
what
to
are
your
you
doctor right
saying?
now, he'll tell you that when it comes to African American women or
We're gonna
African American
be
people,
thicker.
the BMI scale is not attributed to us.
No,
Thank
so
you.
for me, so hold on, and I'm gonna, and this is a fact. I'm a brand ambassador for a plastic surgery place, New Life Plastic Surgery. Shout out to them. But this doesn't attribute to us. Why? Because we just have a different demographic when our hips are wider. We just are shaped differently. So the average woman in a different race weighing what I weigh, she would have a gut. She would have fat places. She would have
no
cellulite.
thighs.
She would have all those
It
things.
is a
She wouldn't
choice.
be able to. She wouldn't be able to run. She wouldn't be able to be on a stairmaster for 45 minutes without being out of breath on a 15.
Okay.
You know, incline. She wouldn't be able to do those things. We defeat the odds. We see it all the time in football players and NBA players all the time.
I'm glad you went to the gym. You know why? Go to the gym daytime, any time of the day, right? What do you see?
What gym?
White women?
What gym?
Any gym. Planet
And what
Fitness,
state? And what state?
Planet
What
Fitness,
city and what
Equinox.
state?
You're talking
Common
about
sense will
Miami.
tell you, you go to the gym, what do you see? White women, Hispanic women. Black women are
I'll
nowhere to
see
be
no
found.
black chicks in the gym,
I'll tell you,
bro.
hold on. You know where they're at?
We stay in
They're at
shape
Wendy's,
easier anyway.
they're at McDonald's,
I don't even
crazy
touch
and Popeyes.
fast
We
food.
stay in
Hold on,
shape
Just saying, bro.
easier.
I don't
You
even
said
touch fast
crazy
food.
stat that I just looked up. So you're blaming the hip genetics and African American women like they're built differently. Guess how much the average African woman weighs?
Go ahead.
133.
Africa
Damn.
is
And what's the height? And what's the height? What's the height?
different
What's the
environment.
height?
Africa is a whole
5'4".
continent
I just came back
compared
from
to
Africa. What do you
America.
mean? Everybody
Wakanda.
is thick.
North America. is a
American
continent.
women
Maybe you're
make
talking
up
about
13% of the
Ethiopian.
country.
Maybe you're talking about
ladies,
West
we gotta-
Africa.
here's the thing.
continent.
Y'all can
That was
cope
a
and
dumb
say that it's the
statistic to compare
BMI, it's that blah blah blah. The
Thyroid.
reality is 187 pounds for a woman is unacceptable.
Too much.
That is obese. That is fat. It's unattractive. I'm 6'3", weigh 200 pounds, single digit body fat. There's no reason a woman should be close to my weight.
I'm not obese and I'm far from unattractive.
You're 187.
Did anyone say
Yes,
that to you?
ma'am.
No,
particularly?
but I'm saying
That's what
I
you
wanted to
just
defeat the
said. You
odds. You
said
said there's
that.
always
Okay,
there's
look.
always that special.
All right,
that-
you go to the gym, right?
Yes.
Cool. You're a minority then. Most girls don't go to the gym in general, and African American women definitely don't go to the gym, which is why their weight is higher than other female demographics.
Okay, so
Well, you
your logic is that we're swiped left on because
I would say it's a totality
I
of the
do,
circumstances,
but I also-
which means it's
Go ahead, let him
the
make his
attitude
point.
stereotypes, it's the masculine stereotypes,
Mhm.
it's the
and the
rudeness,
weight.
it's the how media portrays black women, and a big one that black women don't want to take accountability for. You guys are the fattest race.
I agree. How about this? I'm in a
Look, I'm
space
not
where I
even
feel
mad
like
at
a
that,
lot of women
like-
I'm around don't go to the gym.
Okay.
This is true.
I am not
Forget
mad
the
at that.
fucking race, because I see I'm in Miami. I'm looking at the women.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about the race. These bitches is not working out. I'm
They
looking
don't.
at. I'm
They
in.
get
I'm in the
surgery.
gym.
They get
I
surgery.
don't even on vacation.
Hello, then they work
I'm in
out.
the gym. I see the women. They just not looked at. I can see a fat Latino, Hispanic, white woman, and she gets a pass for being sloppy and fat. Not saying technically to you, but you're gonna give her a pass. She can be mediocre. Unfortunately, when you are a black woman, you need to be exceptional. It's just
And
what it is.
Same thing with black men as well.
Yeah.
Black men can't be average. You have to be extra because guess
Yeah,
what? They're gonna
this
put you
is
down.
true.
So we're just saying it's a choice.
Yeah.
You decide to make a change
Yeah,
for yourself
there's-
to do better.
There's no
or stay the
excuse for
same.
the average weight to be 187 pounds, though. Like, there's not as a woman. Like,
I
that's
feel like
ridiculous.
just because
For what,
that's what it is
everything
doesn't
with
make it
our
right. You know?
statistics is
With
worse
who?
than every other demographic in America.
Wait, what?
Every black statistic is worse than every other demographic statistic in America.
I agree. Women need to work out
Okay,
more.
what does that have to do with-
I
what-
do.
what's his
Like,
point? Why was
yeah.
that? What was the point of that?
Because I don't feel like these statistics are based on
Truth.
the amount exactly.
feel like-
I don't
feel like
Okay.
I don't think these
How much do
statistics
you
are
weigh?
based on really how much do I weigh? I weigh
Yeah.
150.
How
Well,
tall are you?
I didn't ask that, but
I'm 5'2".
He asked.
Okay,
Wait.
quick question. Who
I
here
thought I heard
believes
somebody
in
say
a ghost?
And
Ghost?
And ghost. I don't
Whenever
believe
I'm at a gym, I see a black woman. It's like I seen a ghost. Give me $1,000, bro. I don't see y'all in there, bro. I'm getting $1,000, bro.
That's what gym do you go to?
God dang.
Every
No,
single
I-
gym.
Where?
I live in
Four
the
gyms.
Well,
I
listen,
go
let me
to.
tell you something. I live in the
Where?
Bronx, and
Yeah.
I go
Where?
to
New
LA
York.
Fitness in Eastchester. It's a lot of black women. in
Right,
there.
like
Okay.
you're not going to a black community gym.
Yeah,
Well, here, Miami, I don't see that.
The
You
point
go to
is,
4
the-
gyms, why
men
can't you
lie,
commit?
women
What?
lie, numbers don't. The point is that when you look at obesity in black women, y'all are the fattest race. That's a fact. Done.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I'll
give
take
you.
that.
we're
So
gonna
you
give
have
you
the
that.
fattest ass for
Yeah,
one.
that is
Most of the weight come from
look,
the ass
look,
and
look,
hips.
look, look. You're
So
gonna
is this
cope. You're gonna
why
cope
they
some
swipe
more.
left,
It doesn't
or-
matter. You choose everything that goes in your mouth. When it comes to obesity, I got no fucking sympathy for y'all. Black women are the fattest race by far when it comes to women.
So you don't think
All
black?
right, so what's
That's
what's
a
the
fact.
next topic?
You don't
That's
think
a
black?
fact.
Hold on, let me ask you a
What's the next
question. You don't
topic?
think black
What's the
women are
next topic?
carrying a lot more than white women are?
Look,
we-
look,
what's
look,
the-
ass,
what's the next
titties, all
topic?
I'm
that.
just asking you a question.
No,
You don't think
We
black
can
women are
have more
carrying more
babies and all of that.
than,
No,
than
but
white
what's the
than
next
white women?
topic?
ladies,
though?
ladies. No one gives a fuck why you're fat. Okay?
Okay.
Just like you don't give a fuck if we're broke. No one cares. If you can't control what goes in your mouth,
No,
that's your fault.
I agree with the
If
fact.
I can't control
I
the
agree.
amount of money I
We're gonna
make,
focus
that's
on
my
fat.
fault.
I
The problem
agree.
is this: women don't like taking accountability for their poor decisions. Men, on the other hand, have to take accountability for their poor
I
decisions.
said I accept
If you're
that.
fat,
No, you didn't. It's your fault.
Hit that.
You just said the
Times.
statistics are
But
false.
what's the
I
next
said-
topic,
I
though?
said they're
Can I talk?
biased.
Black
they're not
people-
biased.
So
Y'all are
what's the
fat.
next topic?
Okay.
You are clearly not accepting it if you're saying the
We-
statistics are biased.
Okay.
I didn't say this one in particular was biased.
Okay.
You said all the statistics are
I said
negative for
most
black
of
people.
them, yes,
Can I
are
share my
negative for
views?
black people.
Can
in
we do the
America,
next
yeah.
question?
Okay, but do we have
another topic?
Wait. Let's do the chats.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to give it to her because she did want to say something right before, and then we'll go,
She
and then we'll
did.
hit the next question. Go ahead. You had something right?
Me?
No.
Earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just had a question for him because earlier he was saying that everybody had like these excuses as to why black women is being swiped left.
Right.
But then you also had excuses as to why Asian men were being,
Being
swiped,
swiped.
left.
What was my
But
excuse?
you said you said that they were not as masculine because you guys are not taught that. That's an
Mhm.
excuse. That's
Exactly.
the same thing that we always
Same thing she said.
We were saying that it's
No, I also
epigenetic.
said that
We
Asian
said
men-
that
I was also saying
generations
that
after
African
generations.
American
I
women.
also said that Asian men probably have less testosterone than black men in America.
And what about you? Are you the small percentage
Exception?
exception?
I'm trying to be.
Okay.
Ladies,
Okay.
I don't think you guys
I'm
caught.
not gonna let
Here's
that
the
hold me
thing.
back.
Ladies,
I feel like
ladies,
it's
this
no
is-
right.
this
I
is
mean,
the-
you're
yo,
fine
yo,
and
yo,
all that.
stop,
You look
stop,
like
stop.
you are packing.
Ladies,
so.
Girl, no, you don't.
Here's the thing. Y'all clearly didn't hear everything he said. He explained why women swipe left on Asian men, but then he went on to say, it doesn't matter. I'm going to prove it wrong.
Yep.
Right.
No.
He said why.
That wasn't the
But he
question.
didn't make
though.
excuses. He was like, yo,
he did say that.
it is what it is.
And my
This is
point
what
is-
it is. I
No, no,
accept
no,
it.
I don't
Hold on,
think-
let me respond to you. So there's other reasons why we have different roles and stuff like that. But when you say you're playing the victim role, like it's not my fault, it's epigenetics, it's for different reasons, and it's their fault. They're racist.
Exactly.
I'm not going to call women racist if they don't want to date me because I'm Asian. I'm going to be like, okay, I'll move on, find another bitch.
But
I'm
okay,
not
so
gonna let them
wait,
know
wait,
what
wait.
you're
Okay,
saying.
so can I speak, please? Can I speak?
And then can I go
Can
off
I-
what he said? When you
Yes.
said?
Give me a
Okay,
second.
Go ahead.
I never said anyone was racist. So let's reverse back. I just said it was epigenetics that made us masculine. I never called no one racist.
Okay, is it racist if I say I don't date black women?
No, it's not.
Do you?
It's your
Okay, I'm
preference.
gonna ask you a question.
It's your
Do
preference.
you?
Erase it if you say I don't
Hold
like
on, I want
black
to.
women.
Let's get to the core because I don't.
No, I do. I do.
You do because you look like you like. Fine is fine. I don't even think.
What were you gonna say?
Beautiful is beautiful.
I can talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get clear and to the point. All I needed was 5 minutes to clear my head and process my thoughts. What I'm saying is the root of the problem is the global problem, not the labels, not you and playing the victim. You need to recognize that it's generational trauma, generational curses, the healing that you need to go
No.
through. And if you got your healing path with yourself and you're getting your mind right, you're getting your body right. I go to the gym, I get my mind right, get my body right. There's nothing to do about me. So I'm gonna get to the point, okay? It's a global problem where people aren't recognizing the generational trauma that they endure within their family. They're not recognizing the generational curses that they have with their ancestors. And this has to do with everything: energy, alignment, balance, healing. I've been learning and listening to all of you because I'm learning from all your cultures because I want to change the world into a better place.
Wow.
And we all have the potential to do that with everything that we've learned. We've either gone to college, we've either learned each platform, we've learned social media. You guys don't know, I've been on social media since 2019. My OG followers could tell you that on my platform. My OG people from back home could tell you that you can't tell me that I ain't true and you can't question my mind because I know what I speak is facts. It's just about whether you want to get to know me personally and hear me. So hear me out on this and how we could change the world. I figured out digital marketing and every single app.
What does this have to do with black women being
My
fat?
God.
It has everything to do with black women being
No,
fat.
black
All right,
women
we're
lead
gonna
heart
move on.
disease,